heavy heart that I must announce that James Street will be closing on November 11th. Thank you for all of the support over the past 6 years. It truly has meant the world to the entire James Street family. It has been an incredible journey, and we are thankful for every memory James Street may be done, but the spirit of togetherness that made the place special will live on. Those are words from Kevin Safner, one of the owners of the James Street Gastropub and Speakeasy on the north side. It was a very, very sad day here in Pittsburgh, especially in the music scene, and anybody who likes just good food or a really, really cool place to hang out. That was announced on the 18th, just a couple of days ago. I was actually sitting, it was on Wednesday, I was sitting in a Millville Music Festival meeting, and we're talking about some of the really, really cool new things that we're going to bring to the festival. And I'm looking at my phone as we're discussing things, and I see this pop up on my timeline. And I see it's coming from Kevin, and that it's serious. And I just kind of stopped in the middle of the meeting, and I said, I have some really, really, really bad news. So it really was a tragic day. And it all ended because of a few noisy, whiny, bitchy neighbors who I'm guessing had some other issues, some personal issues with somebody involved in the restaurant or something beyond just noise. And this took place, this incident now, which has prompted the Safner family to close the establishment. This took place after they spent thousands of dollars in renovations on the building. I'm Brian Crawford. I've got Jay Cooper here with me in studio. You're listening to the River's Edge Radio Network. And later on today, in just a few minutes, we'll have Bipolaroid here in studio to talk about a great event with Get Hip Records, who's opening their new store today. So we do have some good news today as well. It's not just all doom and gloom and sadness over James Street, but I want to talk about this neighbor situation in James Street. It doesn't just affect the noise in Deutschtown, which, after all of the money that was spent in remodeling and in bringing the place up, I can't imagine that the noise was still an issue. But there were a few whiny people. They complained, and unfortunately, the squeaky wheel gets oiled. So it bothers me because it doesn't just affect a cool place to hang out, which it does. And one thing is, James Street is one of the few really great jazz locations that were left in the city, and soon it'll be gone. And I have some personal ties to James Street. I started going to James Street really before I became really embedded in the music scene here in Pittsburgh, so it has a really special place in my heart. And it makes me so angry because not only are we losing this great venue, which actually was multiple venues in one building, but a lot of people are now going to be out of work. As well. And it takes a special kind of scumbag to put forth such effort to shut down an entire establishment that's going to be putting waiters, waitresses, bartenders, management, dishwashers, cooks, all sorts of people out of work. And I just wonder, maybe karma can do us a favor, and maybe the people who put all of these people out of work, maybe it's time that they lose their jobs too. Maybe they can feel the pain. Maybe they can experience what they're putting other people through. We had a situation here in Millville which was similar. I don't know if you remember this, Jay, when there were whiners and complainers who were trying to get this beautiful place, which we broadcast out of Mr. Small's, shut down, and also the great brewery we have here in Millville, Grist House.
They tried to take that?
Oh, yeah, they tried to take those people down as well. There was a big ruckus. There were just a couple people, again, just like with James Street, going after them, going out at council again and again and again. So I had organized a massive group of people to come to the council meeting, and those people crawled back into the shadows where they belong, and we put them out. So here in Millville, I think we're safe for now. I had a really interesting post that came across my timeline the other day where somebody said that they played at James Street in the Millville Music Festival. And I thought that was interesting. I would love to have James Street here in Millville and make that part of our festival. Maybe that wouldn't be closing right now. So the big news that's come out through KDKA in regards to this James Street situation is that Mayor Bill Peduto is somehow going to get involved.
Yeah.
So I want to know what he's going to do, because...
I don't know. What could he do?
Well, somebody was posting on Facebook, and they mean well, but they're telling everyone to, call the mayor's office, putting the mayor's phone number down. The reason why they're dealing with these situations is because somebody contacted the Liquor Control Agency. You can look back at my previous interview with Kevin Safner. We talked about this. We talked about what led James Street to this point where they did all of the remodeling, why they were worried about the potential of closing in the future, and it was because it wasn't your local police that were called, it was the liquor control enforcement. Those laws can only be changed on a state level. You got to call your representative. You've got to call your local congressman, your local senator. That's who you need to call. The mayor's office, now Mayor Bill Peduto, he never misses a chance to get in front of the television, so of course he's out there saying how he's going to try to do something. But the only thing he could do is talk to the neighbors and say, pretty please, can we please have music? And there's no guarantee. And at that point, these people are soulless. These people are out for blood, and that's what people have to understand. Were you aware of the liquor control enforcement? Do you know what that is?
I do not.
You don't know what the liquor control enforcement is? You want to grab your mic?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is. Okay.
I do not.
So the liquor control enforcement is a police force that is run through the state police. It is not part of the Liquor Control Board. It is related. Obviously, the Liquor Control Board sets the policies and guidelines that the Liquor Control Enforcement follows.
Okay.
But it's a state police agency. You didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. I've talked to different bar owners who deal in the sale of liquor. They didn't know about it.
Wow.
Nobody knows about the Liquor Control Enforcement Board. So, what does that mean? That means if someone's calling the Liquor Control Enforcement, they're out for blood. They know what they're doing. They worked in the industry at some point, or they've just done their research enough that no matter what you say, they're not going to change their mind. They're out for blood. They're out for hate. Their soul is black, and it's time maybe that maybe we usher them out of the north side. I thought about going down after James Street closes on November 11th and holding boom box protests where I just go out and play really loud music, because the Liquor Control Enforcement has no influence over me because I won't be selling alcohol, which is another point that drives me nuts. Why is it that I could go and blast music out of my house and cause somebody ear damage or break a glass or whatever, and all I'm going to get is a small little local ordinance fine from a noise violation, yet if you're down the road in a bar and I go outside and I can hear the music from the sidewalk, that bar could be charged with breaking state law, and the owner could potentially go to jail and have their liquor license revoked.
I'm trying to understand the nuisance part. I'm trying to understand that.
Because
I stood outside it many times, and you can hear the music playing, but I didn't think it was that bad. And they said they soundproofed it. Right?
They did. They spent thousands of dollars to soundproof the place.
Yeah.
I was there. If you watch back on my interview, it's posted on our Facebook event for the upcoming show. I talked with Kevin. We were actually in the ballroom during the renovations. Mm-hmm. And it's really just a tragic scenario for the scene here. It's such a great venue. But I want to see...
It's a staple. I mean, not just for musicians, but for comedians, too. I performed there many times.
You just had a big birthday party with Howie there. I was at. So,
birthday party for Howie, the Speakeasy, man.
It's a great place. It's great people. And I had this idea for this New Year's Eve party I wanted to have up in the ballroom. Unfortunately, that will never be realized now. Ooh. So I'm very disappointed in that.
Neighbors suck.
But I would like to see the cosmos, God, whoever it is, smite these people with the vengeance that they went after James Street. I am not advocating the destruction of property. However, I am saying if you're a kid on Halloween and you need to, toilet paper someone's house, maybe go to the biggest asshole in the neighborhood and egg their house. I'm not advocating it. I'm just saying if you're going to do it anyways,
right? But
don't egg people's houses. But if you are, and you know who's responsible, that might be the direction to go. What are you gonna miss most about James Street, Jay?
I just like the atmosphere, man. I really did. I mean, we had a lot of good people that came to our events and stuff. The stage up in the ballroom was really nice. I'm a stage person. See, we comedians, we perform damn near anywhere that allows us to perform. I mean, that's the same with musicians too, but something about a stage, and that was one of the best stages that they have in the city, and I'm gonna miss that because the back, you had the back window and everything, and the way the tables was all set up, it was beautiful. I really liked that place, and the Speakeasy downstairs was good too. I had such plans for that place, and now it's done.
It's kind of ironic that a old prohibition style law, which needs to be replaced, but still on the books, that's what took down a business that has its roots in prohibition and fighting it. But it really is a tragic day for the whole scene here in Pittsburgh. And yeah, I am too. Like I said, I want to see the Cosmos. If you're listening up there, God, and I know you are, because today was like one of those days. Okay, I was sick going into work, like really sick. Left work feeling great before I came here. I got out not on time, but in enough time to make it here. Just things have been working out, so God, if you're still with me, please smite the people who took down James Street. Unleash your wrath and just share with them the pain that they have caused all of us. That's all I'm asking.
And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. Oh, I love that. Ezekiel 25:17.
That's exactly what we want. Yes, we want vengeance. We want. What can we have? What's like an appropriate punishment? Because you don't want to like destroy someone. It's not like they don't need to be smoldered down into salt, but maybe just like I don't know. They lose their job and have to like live like paycheck to paycheck for a few weeks. We don't want to go too extreme. Maybe they
don't want to fuck up their life.
Maybe exactly. Maybe they get a flat tire in rush hour traffic and they have to deal with the horns of 1,000 angry commuters honking at them at one time. Yeah. Maybe
they're stuck, but the bikers get to pass.
Exactly, and they get to watch everyone passing. That might be an appropriate punishment. We want some sort of vengeance to come from the Cosmos.
I'm thinking block party. That would be nice.
Yeah, maybe we can have
instead of performing inside, let's just make it really
maybe
loud.
Instead of one Deutschtown Music Festival, maybe we have like half a dozen Deutschtown Music Festivals, and maybe we put a stage right outside their house and make that a stage where they don't sell alcohol, so the only person they can contact is the local police, and they'll be on our side.
Shit, let me know, man. I'll wear a hat with a feather in it. I'll put on a skirt, some lederhosen. I'll get a fucking what do you call those things? An accordion or something? I'll dance on a table. I'll drink German beer, and yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Let's do it. I think we need to do it. So we're going to take a quick time out, and when we come back, we're going to bring in Bipolaroid here to talk about your guys' performance tonight.
I love that
excited.
name, by the way.
Yes,
love that name.
It's great. So that is up next, right here on Pittsburgh's Voice for Local Music, The River's Edge.
Hi, I'm Rob Spear, host of Damn Near Killed 'Em, an interview show where anything goes.
Once they gave it to me, you could have stuck a telephone pole up my ass.
I was about to be kicked out of the country.
That's where they send the worst of the worst.
In a psych ward, normal things seem so weird in there.
He was making $5,000 a month doing gay audiobooks.
Hear some stories from people who have been to the edge and back. Thursday morning at 9 a.m. on riversedgepgh.com or download on iTunes.
I mean, that's some pretty cool shit.
Hey folks, it's Mike Sasson of The Mike Sasson Show. Me and Alex, my producer extraordinaire, looked at the landscape of internet radio and figured if we want to make it, we've got to work. At least an hour earlier. Now on at 9 a.m. every Tuesday on The River's Edge, a new kind of radio.
Ed and DC of Bipolaroid here on the River's Edge Radio Network. I've got Jay Cooper with me as well. We're broadcasting live from Mr. Small's Theater, and we're here to talk about a great event that is going on tonight, a free show at Get Hip Recordings. They're opening a new store today right on the north side. So good things happening in the music scene as well. I know we put you in a bad mood, but we've got good stuff now.
Yeah, nice to meet you, by the way.
So we brought you down. Now we're bringing you up. That's the world of talk radio. We've got your lows and your highs. Everything's peaks and valleys. So 1 minute you're gonna cry, the next minute you're here listening to great music.
Yep.
Here to talk about great things happening in the Pittsburgh area. So you guys, you're not from Pittsburgh, is that correct?
That is correct.
That is correct. So
we're from New Orleans.
New Orleans, okay. So you're from New Orleans, you made it here. So, and I know you guys were talking, you had some issues in New Orleans with similar...
Yeah, you were talking about neighborhood forces shutting down businesses that provide live music or any kind of entertainment. This has been going on for a while in New Orleans as well.
But we stormed City Hall.
Yes, we did.
That's what we did here in Millville.
We stormed City Hall and got signatures, and Kermit Ruffins was behind a lot of that, and a lot of people in New Orleans got together and just said, hey, this is a music city. You can't just, move here and then just start pulling out, like you said, old prohibition laws. It's a very, very similar situation.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we've got this record store opening, and I've been in Get Hip recordings before for Zach, he's hanging out in the studio. He's hiding behind the curtain. But when I was there for his big release party, he took me back and showed me the different records that are there in the building, and it blew my mind. There's so many records there. It's like, I live down the street from the Attic here in Millville, which is this iconic record store right here, and I felt like there may have been more records there. I don't know. It was like at Get Hip. I mean, it was just aisles and aisles from the ceiling down to the floor.
It's the vinyl event horizon, I think, and everything just it just keeps going.
And that's a huge building too, to have that many records in. So it's cool with the live performance space, the records, the record store down below. It's I think that where they're located, it's in an interesting part of town, and I think you could really see a lot of people coming down for that. They're near Bicycle Heaven, which is a really cool bicycle museum we have here in Pittsburgh. So it's going to become a really cool, it's going to be a really cool part of town. I think it's really starting to blow up, and I think this is definitely going to really energize people and bring them down to that part of the north side.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, Get Hip and music and record stores and whatnot seems to be good places for people to gather, let's just say.
Yeah, so you guys are actually coming out with an album with Get Hip, correct? So tell me a little bit about that. How did that come together? How did you guys find Get Hip? Because they're based here in Pittsburgh. I know that they have a wide range.
Greg's band came down quite a few years ago to New Orleans, and we did a show. We did a show with him, and he really enjoyed it. And then we just started first the little distribution deal. We had a few records out already, and then put out our last 45 and our last album. So now we're doing a new one, and it's just getting mastered down, artwork. So by next year, I think that'll be coming out.
Some soon day.
Yeah, we'll be back. We come through here quite a bit because this is like our second home kind of now, especially with having Greg and then Barbara and Get Hip here, you know.
Chip.
Now, what does that say about Pittsburgh, in your opinion, that you guys have made this your second home in our music scene here? Because I feel like being down in New Orleans, as you said, there is so much music down there to really make Pittsburgh your second home. I feel like probably says a lot about Pittsburgh, about Get Hip, about the scene.
Oh yeah, I mean they've embraced us here, so that's definitely has a lot to do with it. Yeah, we always have a great time through here. Quite often. We take the next day off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been key. If we ever go out, Pittsburgh sort of becomes like, just get to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Forever on the road.
We're going to
just get to Pittsburgh.
We're going to have a good night, and we're going to rest up next day. And then the next day after that, we're going to leave. But we always like to take an extra day off after we play here. So.
Now, you guys performing tonight, will we hear some music from the new album?
Oh,
possibly?
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, that I think that was a requirement.
That was a requirement.
Here's some new songs, boys. Come on.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy event. I was just looking at the flyer here. There's going to be some really great performances. I see we've got Gas Tiger. We're going to have music from DJ Flipside, Scotty. He's crazy because he brings in all of these records as well. Mm-hmm. So I bet you he's going to be like... if I don't know if Get Hip is planning on having some sort of like loyalty card, but I guarantee you he'll have the loyalty card. And if you look at his collection, I don't know, maybe Get Hip should not get a loyalty card. I feel like all the stuff he's going to be buying, the discounts he'll rack up. That's the thing. He's a DJ and he plays all of his music through records. It's really pretty cool. And it's 19 years old. It's impressive. But that's Zach. You can hear if you can hear him in the background. It's impressive to watch him do what he does because. Not to take away anything from any other DJ, but like right here we have our playlist here, and it's easy for me to click. It's like a workout to be grabbing the what you need, and it reminds me of my time at WCAL where we didn't have a record player necessarily, but the setup for a DJ, if you were doing anything like what I do with talk, because I like to mix talk in with music a lot of times as well, it was like a workout because the computer was behind you, the desk was in front of you, the board was there, so you're literally swinging the entire show back and forth. Yeah. And I remember after like a 2-hour show, I was like ready to pass out. It was so exhausting.
Should be.
So
it should be though.
I guess
it should expend some energy playing the music for the people.
But I mean, right now I can just do this. I mean, like I don't know. Like if I'm just going to be using a computer, sure. If I'm doing something cool like playing records and things like that, then sure, yeah, I can see, add that extra thing. But I'm literally clicking a button on a mouse. I shouldn't I shouldn't worry about cardiac arrest by mouse clicking.
So you say.
So I say.
I mean,
yes.
let's add a little physical exertion into the menial tasks, shall we?
What? I gotta ask something.
Yes.
Right before we went to the commercial break, I was talking about how much I like the name. Y'all gotta tell me where the name came from.
Oh, well, that's kind of an old story. Actually,
Bipolaroid, that is...
I always kind of found the fake British accent as kind of a funny thing. And so a friend of mine was making fun of me and was referring to me as the singer of Guided by Voices, Bob Pollard.
Sure.
I was like, what am I going to call this? Bob Pollard. And I was like, what? And I thought she said Bipolaroid, so it was literally just like
a misheard lyric.
Yeah. I thought it was like some sort of art thing, like you liked taking pictures, but you couldn't tell.
It totally made that's what
one of y'all was bipolar.
We all are, which makes us like tripolar or something. No.
I could just see it. Like I don't know. Like you're out on a shoot, and it's like. You're flipping between the shot that like when you get everyone you pose for a shot versus like the non-pose, and you're going back and forth and you can't figure it out.
There's a lot of duality in it.
Hey man, it's an evocative name, I suppose.
I like it.
It's catchy. It's stuck in my head now.
There's you can put a lot of meaning into it.
Sure, we put the bi in Bipolaroid.
2 of you here, yeah. 2 out of 3. So yeah, you guys are putting the buy in.
Some ex-band members didn't like when I said that. Why not here?
Well.
I get it. I wasn't even thinking about it that way, but yeah,
the
that's
cover of the new album now, like just like a split, like one side of your face, one side of your face. Just like that. Let them just...
On mixed body. On our drummer's body, that would be... We do have a drummer. He's not here with us.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The two of you, yeah. We were talking about two different types of buy.
That would really fuck people up. They would.
So tell me about this show
We'll get that
tonight.
like Michael Jackson morph like effect and all that. Yeah.
Exactly.
What are we expecting to see tonight?
You mentioned a few of the other acts going on, and then we're gonna play electric tonight.
Mostly.
So if you heard them here, you still have a reason to come out. See,
it's going to be different. It's going to be a whole
more
It's going to be a projectionist, I think. Doing some
Psychedelic projections.
Psychedelic projection.
Wow.
My homie Sykes.
So, like I said, there's a duality here with acoustics, and then you're going to see us later.
There you go. See? We're putting the buy in Bipolaroid.
Right. You're doing it right here on the River's Edge Radio Network. So... You came down from New Orleans, or came up from New Orleans, rather.
Up and over.
Well, I guess it depends, where you're looking at the Earth from space.
Right. If
So
you're like
you
coming,
could technically be coming up.
Right.
I mean, coming down to
If
Pittsburgh.
you're staring straight at the accretion disk of the Milky Way galaxy in our solar system, then yes, we'd be coming up.
Yeah. So you came up to Pittsburgh, and you're here. So, tell me about New Orleans. Is it hard to? Is it hard to, I guess, get out there in New Orleans because there's so many people, or is it kind of...
It's like anywhere else. If you embrace it, it can love you back, but it can also destroy you. It's destroyed a lot of people that try to, put their, square peg in the round hole. But it's got its own...
It always kind of lets you do what you wanted to. I mean, it's a little harder now because things are more expensive. But it was kind of a bohemia for a long time,
There's still elements of that. In New Orleans, I've noticed that I've been there for about 20 years, and I've noticed that areas of creativity, be them for live music or bands or artists or whoever, it kind of leapfrogs around the city. Mm-hmm. Before I moved there, people were telling me about these other areas of the city that you'd never think that they would be worth going to because it's, strip malls where, no, we used to go out there. So it kind of, just like anywhere else, some romantic people move into a neighborhood and decide that, I can live cheaply and do my art and not be bothered. And then other people come by and say, hey, this is nice. I'll open a coffee shop here and I'll open a grocery store here. And then that gets a little bigger. And then, so now the people that originally moved there can't afford to live there anymore. So they find another place, someplace with vitality and maybe some danger, because it gives them it affords them the freedom to be poor, let's say.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I know we're dealing with that here in Millville. We're kind of a community that's on the up and up, but they're really trying to grow but not throw people out. And I know that can be a struggle, but I think they've got some good plans in place to try to make that work. We'll see. But actually, Jay, you got to come over this way or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm blocking people.
Jay's in the way. So we got Howie here as well. Howie, we're here. We are here today with Ben and DC of Bipolaroid. They're going to be performing tonight at the Get Hip Recordings, and they're opening up a record store for Get Hip as well. That starts at 5 p.m. tonight, so it's going to be awesome. They're also having free drinks there as well. There's going to be multiple musicians. It's going to be a good time.
Free we like. It's give that's hard.
No, it's my free because he put up the other one. You can't get me to go home.
Oh, that's right.
So let's play another song from you guys, and then we're going to roll into into Cooper's Corner.
Yes, sir.
And you guys are welcome to join us on Cooper's Corner if you would like.
Yeah, we'd love to hear some input.
Yeah. So, all right, we've got what's this one called? What are you going to play for us?
This one's called Hollow Fox Archery.
Hollow Fox Archery. Can you tell me about the song before we go?
It's a bit of a dream.
Well, it's a struggle and a little, and just like you have all these musicians and they've got some big hammer that's trying to come down on them, but you can overcome it. You don't have to play by their rules. You make your own.
Just step aside.
You can take a tiny stone and take down the biggest. I mean, I've seen it happen. And
yes.
in us band.
Yeah. In front of my eyes.
All right.
Behind my back, under my nose.
Bipolaroid right now here on the River's Edge, Pittsburgh's voice for local music, riversedgepgh.com.
Bring the mic up, Howie. We about to do this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is that new shit. Bipolaroid never heard of this.
Cooper's Corner, join in. It's a jam session.
Cooper's Corner. Come on, get the guitar in. Cooper's Corner. A Cooper's Corner. Cooper's Corner. Cooper's Corner. Yeah. Cooper's Corner. Corner.
Cooper's Corner. Cooper's Corner.
Yes.
All right.
Damn, that was the best one.
That was Bipolaroid. You can hear them tonight at 5 p.m. at Get Hip Recordings. You guys are welcome to join us for Cooper's Corner. This is the weekly segment where Jay takes over and he gives us his most interesting news of the week.
And boy, do I not have some interesting news. This is taken from ABC 7 in New York and Brooklyn at the Gowanus Expressway. This happened this past Saturday during Howie's birthday, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great event that was. That was at James Street down in Speakeasy.
It's too bad that these people weren't at this party because this tragedy never would have happened. Around 4 a.m. last Saturday, a 2007 Infiniti G35 crashed on the side of the Gowanus Expressway in Brooklyn, New York. The car caught on fire. Now, the driver was able to get out, and he hailed a cab and left, but there was a woman in the passenger seat, and he just left her to burn. That is crazy as hell. Yeah, so 25-year-old Harlene Gruel from Astoria, she was in the passenger seat. Apparently, the guy was giving her a ride, and when they crashed and the fire started, he managed to get out with just a few burns on the neck, arms, and legs.
Wow.
But he, nonchalantly just And there was video footage also shown too of someone on the expressway seeing him say, "Can I get a ride?" Hopped in the cab and took off. Just left her there to die.
Wow.
That's so messed up. And then like there were so many reports that went on. They interviewed the father. The father said he was crazy as hell for leaving. Didn't even call 911. Didn't do anything.
Was it his car?
It was his car. Yeah.
So there's no way you can hide it or anything.
Maybe it was like, I gotta get this cocaine out this car before the police get here.
That might be it.
I was coming right back.
I was trying to think.
There's moments when you can't be there when the police get there.
There's so many questions with not that many answers and everything, because they said that it was his date that was in the car that died, but then found out that it wasn't his date, just a friend that was in her circle. The boyfriend spoke out and said that, you know, he didn't know the guy really. He just knew that she was sort of a friend. And he was just concerned, like, did he help her? Did he not help her? If not, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, yeah. So the guy's name, he's 23-year-old Saeed Ahmed, and he's being charged with manslaughter, criminal negligent homicide, leaving the scene of an accident, aggravated unlicensed operator, and speeding.
Oh, he didn't have a license?
Speeding.
Yes.
Oh, he didn't have a license.
Now just tacking shit off.
Yeah. You said a license.
You had to bust the taillight too.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. So he didn't have a license, and he was drunk.
Yeah. Well, maybe they didn't say he was drunk, but that would explain. You know.
Well, they do that here in Pittsburgh. See, one time it was really weird. I was pulled over. No, I wasn't pulled over. I got a ticket in the mail saying that, you would like this, Howie, that I passed a cyclist going right before the West End Bridge. Now, anyone who drives that stretch of the West End Bridge, there's never any cyclists there. Ever. So, and then I looked at the time on the ticket, and I was already supposed to be at work. I was already supposed to be clocked in. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I get a copy of my time card. I submit to fight the ticket. I go there, and I was a delivery driver at the time. So I go there, and they tell me, with this ticket, he's like, he tells me, the officer, he's there. He goes, oh yeah, I remember you. Yeah, it was you. I'm the officer. He said, and I give him the ticket. He goes, oh, that's not at all what happened. He's like, you passed the car or whatever, and it wasn't at that time. That's when I sent it in. I said, it doesn't make any sense. But regardless, I'm there. It's crazy. The ticket was bullshit, but I ended up getting a lesser deal because I was afraid of losing the license. So I just didn't fight it the whole way. As soon as I had no points on the license, I went with it. But while I was there, literally every single person in the courtroom at this magistrate's office was cited with reckless driving. And reckless driving will lose you your license. So basically, they give everybody a charge of reckless driving. So that way, whatever deal they give you, you are just so thankful that you're not going to lose your license, because the reckless driving will give you enough points to lose your license. So it's a thing that they do. So it's kind of like, throwing on, whatever, tacking something on at the end. They tack this on to every single person who gets pulled over in the city of Pittsburgh. So that way, when the officer or the magistrate or whatever cuts you a deal, you're just like, yes, thank you. I'm not going to lose my license.
I got mailed a ticket in New Orleans. It was just for a parking violation, but I got it in the mail, and when I looked at the address, I kind of went on to the Google Map thing to type in, where was I parked? And the address that I got the ticket at would have been in the middle of the Mississippi River.
Wow.
What? It was crazy. A non-existent address that did not exist.
So you didn't pay the ticket, right?
That's like
I still had to pay it.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Well, it's either that or why don't you just come spend the day with us in City Hall, young man? Which is far worse than paying the $20 ticket.
Well, it was just $20? Yeah, I would have paid it too.
I beat two of those. I was like, after the experience, after two, I'm like, I'm good at this. I'm gonna.
You're right.
I got a ticket for a place I've never been to.
Well, that
No, I know. I got a ticket from Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah, people were getting tickets.
Hey, Baltimore, shout out.
Hold on. And the funny part was, you have a white van. I've never owned a van. When have I owned a van? Well, did you change? No, I didn't change.
You had a child predator van and I didn't know about it?
Yeah, I didn't even know about it. I could have had a new hobby.
Well, that's the crazy thing, though. You're not even in the place. You get charged, and really the system is set up where you're guilty until proven innocent. It's completely contrary to everything that the legal system is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And even if you come in with actual proof, like, I had a time card that said I was actually at work in the strip district at this very same time, that doesn't even matter.
It's become so full of paperwork and bureaucracy, and and you got to remember the people in these offices are just doing their jobs, and
they're not.
They don't care.
They're not doing their job. They just stamp and everything.
Okay, they're clocking in and clocking out and getting a paycheck, but it just becomes
crazy. I don't know if it's this way in New Orleans, but here in Pennsylvania, you don't have to have any legal background at all to be a magistrate.
No shit.
None. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to
That sounds wrong.
have any kind of background. Yeah. So basically,
so I can be a magistrate.
You could be a magistrate. Yeah, Howie. If you wanted to be a magistrate, you could run a campaign because that's how you win magistrate here in Pennsylvania. Is it's an election. So you're basically a politician, or you're just some popular town drunk. Which actually, I wish there were more of those. Maybe as magistrates.
That's the new calling.
We need more mid
a
troubled man for troubled times.
Yeah, we have Manny Chevrolet for mayor of New Orleans. We've got people running for mayor in New Orleans that they'd make great mayors, but not so much qualified, I suppose.
Yeah, well, that's how these magistrates are. Like again, you could have no legal background whatsoever, become a magistrate, and then you're dealing in cases.
Anyway, there's that.
Yeah.
Hey,
or that. Sure.
Why not?
And as a magistrate, you could literally ruin someone's life. Like my friend got a DUI, for example, and it was kind of crazy too. They actually went to his house after he was already in the house with the door locked. I don't know why he opened the door, but they pulled him out and had him do a sobriety test. He passed. So then he went and they sent him for like a blood test after that, and he failed that. But it was crazy because when he got the DUI, he was required to pay all of these fines back. And if he didn't pay the fines, he would go to jail. But if he drove to work, he would go to jail. And he lived outside of the city, so there was no public transit to get to work. So basically, if his dad didn't drive him to work every day, he was going to jail, or he was going to become a thief to come up with the money to pay the government back for the DUI. So it's set up to screw you in the end.
So that goes to say, when the police are at the door, they ask for your name. Do not answer.
And do not open.
They get a lot of people with that. They don't sit there and just you open the door, just open the door so we can talk to you.
Then you're done. Yeah,
they know that. They know you don't know that.
See, here, everybody knows me, so, I don't know if I've said this on air before, but I was outside of Smalls, actually. It's one thing I do. I work overnight, so I work these crazy hours, and then I come into here, and I never sleep, and it's crazy. So, a lot of times, I will just sleep in the car for a few hours, or even just 15 minutes or whatever. And I used to do it at Millville Studios, which is kind of in this, where I parked was in this little alley, so no one bothered me. But here at Smalls, everyone drives by, and I'm there leaning back, eyes closed, and I hear a knock on my window. And here it's the chief of police, but he all knows me, he sees me, he rolls his eyes, he's like, go back to bed, Brian. So, somebody called, but yeah, you get that. But luckily everyone... We have the coolest police in Millville.
Yeah, sound
We really do. So Chief Komorowski is actually a member of the Millville Music Festival Planning Committee. So our police are involved in a big way. And I remember one day we were at this meeting, and Jenny Signs of the Millville Yoga Collective, she sits on the committee, and she was in charge of getting different street performance acts to perform at the festival. Okay. So she's there at the festival and at the meeting, and we're there, and we're looking for a venue where we could put this drum circle, because we didn't know where we were going to be able to put it. Because it's not just somebody walking around with sticks of fire. Well, actually, you would need a lot of space for sticks of fire. But you know what I mean? It's not like somebody going around juggling where you don't need a lot of space and you can go from place to place.
Gas station, sticks of fire at the gas station. Anyway.
You needed a big spot for this drum circle.
Correct.
So we're like, well, what about so-and-so's parking lot? Well, Tim Komorowski, he leaves the meeting. He walks away with his phone. He comes back. He goes, I got you the spot. He's there making connections, booking venues, the chief of police. So, that's what we got here in Millville. We're kind of spoiled in
it's good he's active. I wish the rest of they would stay that way. But the city's so big, and so much other stuff goes.
Well, it was crazy. So I know somebody from an event, and I'm not going to name the event because I don't want to get him in trouble. But I do know he put together an event outside, and they were required to hire 4 or 5 police officers. 3 showed up, one or two stayed, and they had to pay for all of these officers. Here in Millvale, it was like people were working for free. They were giving us discounts. Like they were doing everything that they could just to make it work. So you're right. In the city, they're a little stricter.
It's
than
more like
ours.
utopia for artists here.
Yeah.
As soon as you go across the bridge, it's a whole other story. And it's what is it, like a minute and a half, 2 minute drive from here?
Yeah, I can walk to
across the
Lawrenceville in like
bridge.
15 minutes to get there. So,
Totally.
but yeah, here it's just like, you know, I don't know, they're cool. I mean,
Speaking of which, we need some more venues. We need me and Jay for the Pick Your Poison and other shows since losing James Street.
I know, right? That
I know that was going to be the next choice. We was going to use the Speakeasy for that, and now it's like,
Well, you coming to the thing tomorrow on Monday?
So
right?
Jay, you had your birthday,
Yes.
50th birthday party at James Street. Yeah, Howie. Again, I came in after work, you know.
Not yet. He's
15 more
So
years
you had
ago.
the party there.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to see this venue disappear?
I've been performing at that venue and going to that venue for like even before they owned it.
Yeah.
Since it opened, it's weird. I mean, it's a staple. It's a landmark in the city. To lose a venue like that is just ridiculous. Or some noise complaints that nobody and even the neighbors don't know. Neighbors don't complain, and you really can't hear music, especially down the Speakeasy, maybe upstairs in the ballroom. But that's not even that loud. I've been there when the bands were there. It's not really that loud.
No, it's not. And then they spent all that money remodeling, so it can't be that bad outside. I just want to get your thoughts.
You got one jerk that sits there. Maybe somebody who has no life sister complains every night. I'm gonna make 5 calls a night.
So what's your opinion on my request from the man upstairs or the world or karma or whatever, where I asked that these people be smited with the same ferocity in which they struck down James Street?
I'm okay with it.
You're okay with that? See, Howie's on board too. So,
On board, baby.
we're all on the same page.
How
here
miserable do
today.
you have to be to sit there and complain all that time for 18 months straight?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
that's a good. There's never any trouble at James Street. Nothing.
No.
I've never heard of any drama there.
No fights.
There's no trouble at Get Hip Recordings either, and they've got a big show tonight. Opens at 5 p.m. Music starts at 7. They're opening a record store as well.
Where's
It's gonna be
this
so awesome.
located at?
It's located right on the north side, right near Bicycle Heaven. If you're familiar with Bicycle Heaven, it's right in that area.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's great. I'm really excited. I actually got to see a show there. I got to see Zach Kime perform there. So it's really a great venue all around. So many different records. I'm excited to see the actual store, because if it's as impressive as the random hallway that I walked down, then I know it's going to be really
Random
cool.
hallway.
Yeah, random hallway that was just like filled with like an insane amount of records.
It's an archaeological layer.
It is, yeah. It's like a museum in and of itself. They could actually probably open a museum of records right there.
Absolutely.
So really excited about that.
What time does it start?
It starts at 5 p.m. The music starts at 7, so it's free to get in. So and the address, actually I have the address here. It's 1800 Columbus Avenue, 15233. It's all ages as well, so you can bring everyone. There's
Nice
no
job on the
excuse.
flyer, too.
We'll even let Howie in, even though he's 50. So.
You can turn that damn music down.
All ages means all ages.
People of all ages.
Did you hear that? Free pizza.
There we go.
What do you like?
No excuse.
I want to be a bitter person to come and complain about everything but eat the pizza.
Yeah, you know what?
That's no good music. You're out of
I
pepperoni.
guarantee. I guarantee if James Street was offering
Yes,
if
they're
James
complaining
Street
about the smell.
Yeah.
if James Street was offering something for free, you know they would be there. It's like at work. Every time we lose water at work, all these people who have never touched a glass of water in 20 years are out there grabbing 4 or 5 water bottles because they're free.
Panic mode.
So,
Yeah, survival mode.
So, I just think that they're just weird about wanting free
You gotta
shit.
sleep during the day and move during the night. Take water where you can.
So, DC, Ben, Bipolaroid, you guys got one more for us, and then we're going to wrap things up with the Hood Rat of the Week. So,
Yes.
do not forget, 5 p.m. tonight, right there on the north side, Get Hip Recording Studio, the record store, opening up. Do not miss it. I'll be there. You should be there as well. One more song to wrap it up, and then we're going to end the show with the Hood Rat of the Week.
Close to the surface,
Bipolaroid live music here on the River's Edge, riversedgepgh.com. It is now time for the Hood Rat of the Week.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Guys.
Look, we came, we saw,
Right, you should invite all the
we died. We came, we saw, he died. Look.
You saw?
All right, hold up. You know, I'm gonna take this one. How's this one? Can you hear me all right? We good. All right, everybody, we are back. Hood Rat of the Week to wrap it up, man. Man, a lot of things was going down on the week of your birthday, man.
Always.
Yeah, this happened last Thursday in Milwaukee. This story is compliments of the Journal Sentinel. Here's a tagline for you. What happens when you Facebook Live your drug dealing?
What happens?
You get arrested.
Exactly. You get caught. You get arrested by the police, and that's what happened last week. 19-year-old Jeffrey Kirk. This is funny too. This actually is a good way for people to, help out with the police and everything. There was a video footage that was shown of 19-year-old Jeffrey Kirk. This actually took place back in September 10th of him driving around Milwaukee, showing weapons and selling pot to people, and people are watching him live on Facebook doing this.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a 40-minute long video.
Why do people think that that's a good idea ever?
I don't know.
You hear these kind of stories all the time. They always seem to happen, and it's always a bad idea. And they just keep doing it.
And here's the funny part, because this dude was like, okay, he possessed a firearm back in the day. So he was a juvenile, and he did like an armed robbery conviction. And he's already 19.
Right.
And then he decides to go live and record himself with a gun in the car. You can see it in plain sight.
Wow.
Making phone calls with people, going to all these people's houses and selling the weed. Then he calls his mom and say, "Hey, come out with my stuff." It's a recording of him coming to his mama's house, grabbing a floral bag that had his weed in it. So somebody saw the live video and they sent it to the police. The police later, and here we go, like fast forward later. Now, this past Thursday, police came to his girlfriend's house and snatched him up.
Wow.
And
everybody else. So he got everybody indicted.
Right. Well, so far they just got him. Police confiscated $1,400 cash, all the marijuana he had, a weighing scale, and a bulletproof vest.
Wow.
Yeah. So this guy's like a petty drug dealer. Like $1,400 cash ain't shit, man. I make more than that. You know what I'm saying? This guy, he is the definition of a hood rat, doing shit that's outside the norm. People look. I mean, I ain't saying, okay, how much should I, okay, look, if you're going to sell drugs, just don't go live about it. That's all I'm saying. I mean, drug dealing is meant to be behind closed doors. You're supposed to be quiet. You're supposed to be anonymous. Nobody's supposed to know that you're doing the shit, okay? Don't go on Facebook Live. There's always snitches out there, all right?
That's just as funny.
Well, I mean... it could just be the fact that a cop could just see the video.
Right. Anybody could have saw that shit, man, because anybody could just share it, and they could be friends with people who are police or something, or
maybe a police officer themselves.
Yeah.
I imagine if you're dumb enough to go live on Facebook, you're also not smart enough to look at who your friend contact list is.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
use receipts with all his drug deals.
Right. So Jeffrey Kirk is charged with 5 counts of possession of a firearm, 3 counts of delivery of marijuana. He's jailed on a $7,500 bail, and he's scheduled to appear in court. Actually, he was in court yesterday.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a follow-up
and one big count of being stupid.
Yes. If you could
that should
get
be his first charge.
if there should be a
That
crime
be
for
his first
being
charge.
stupid,
he's one.
Yes.
He got that.
And Jeffrey Kirk, that is why you made the list for being Hood Rat of the Week. Yes, definitely.
You just made the list.
Oh my God. So, is this the part where we talk about what we have coming up?
Yeah, what do we have? I know we got a big flyer here from our friends at Get Hip Records. They've got a showcase on the 31st. It's got Slim Forsyth, Morgan Arena, Zach Kime, and more. It's going to be a good time. And what time does that start? We just got this information today, so
it says 6:30.
6:30 p.m. See, I like the fact that they're doing all this stuff early.
Yes,
and that's going to be at Wallace's Whiskey
Maybe we should
Room.
start doing that. We need to start.
Well,
doing
I
early
like
shows.
early because I work overnight and I start work at 10:30, so I can't make stuff that's really late. And also, like on a weekday, especially, like I hate late shows that are on a weekday.
Hey, Brian, why don't you set up help us set up a comedy on the weekend, a comedy happy hour?
Comedy happy hour, that could be fun.
In Millville.
Yeah, well,
yes.
In Millville, I know a few places that. But are you looking for a private room? We'll talk after the show.
We want it public. We want people to walk in and see us. We're trying to get famous.
All right.
Drink specials, it's funny when they're drunk,
right?
It's true.
And people in Millville drink.
That's why I drink before the show.
Yeah.
So. But seriously, I love the early shows, especially on a weeknight, because people have kids, people have other lives, they have jobs to wake up for. And it's really hard to go out to a show that starts at like 10 or 11 at night on a weeknight, even if you don't have a job like mine, just because you might have a job where you have to wake up at 6 in the morning. Some people got to wake up at 5 a.m. to get ready for work. So I don't know. I like the early show. So I like the fact that it's at 6:30. I like the fact that it's going to be in a whiskey room, and they have a kitchen there as well. So I like alcohol.
We know that.
Yeah. What do you guys have coming up?
Okay. First off, I want to let everybody know. Please go on Facebook, look me and Howie up. We have a Facebook page, On Our Way with Howie and Jay. It's a funny video show. We're in the car, we're bullshitting. There's music, there's soundtrack, there's sound effects and stuff. It's funny as hell. Go on Facebook, look it up. On Our Way with Howie and Jay. Look that up. Now Monday, because I got to get prepared for our for the comedy contest coming up in November.
That's
so I'm hitting open mics, man. First off, I'm hitting all you can eat tacos at the Steel Cactus. I'm going to be there for that. Then after that, I'm going to the Smiling Moose to do open mic hosted by Elliot. I can't remember his last name, but I'm gonna be there for that.
It doesn't matter who he is.
Right.
Go for Jay Cooper.
Right.
Go for
and then Thursday, open mic over at the Ham Bones hosted by Derek Minto. We're gonna get Derek up here one day.
Yeah.
And then Friday, they just started doing this open mics over at the Parkway Theater in McKees Rocks.
Really?
It's called Comedy on the Rocks.
I like that.
So that's next Friday at 8:30, and these are all free shows that I named.
Don't forget Monday. I'm gonna meet over there with Brian over there at James Street.
Oh, you're coming down. Oh, that's.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Oh, you're coming to. Okay, great. That's
Good.
That's going to be Sunday night. We're going to be Sunday at 7 p.m.
That's Sunday? I thought it was Monday.
Well, the show's Monday, but we're doing the live broadcast on Sunday. My work schedule's changed. It's harder for me to get there.
When you do that, because I was still thinking it was Monday.
Yeah, 7 p.m. It's going to be 7. So that's a big announcement here. I haven't really talked about it on the show. My work. Basically, due to sheer incompetence from upper level management above the work floor, I'm getting a ton of overtime hours, and it's like playing Russian roulette as to whether I can get to a show at all. Last week, we played a replay episode because of that for the Monday show. Okay. So due to that, I'm going to be moving my show live on Facebook at 7 p.m. on Sundays, and then we will put it on the radio stream as per normal at 10 a.m. So if you're a long-time River Talk listener and you've grown used to that 10 a.m. on Monday time slot, fear not. It'll still go live at riversedgepgh.com before it goes on demand on the live stream, as well as on TuneIn Radio. Same time, 10 a.m. We're going to do the Sunday at 7 thing at least through Christmas.
Okay.
And if things change after Christmas, I'll go back to doing it live on Facebook and radio at the same time. But until then, for the Monday show, we're going to be doing it 7 p.m. just going forward for now. So that's something to stay tuned. And that is a big announcement coming from my end. We've talked a lot about James Street and the big blow it is to the entertainment scene here in Pittsburgh that this place is going away. Kevin and his family are really great people, excellent staff there.
Shout out to you, Kevin.
Really
Thank
sad.
you for the food, Lisa.
Really sad to see this happen. And we're going to talk about it on Sunday. Kevin's going to join me. We're actually going to do the show live from James Street. It's not open to the public, so you'll have to watch on the Facebook page or at riversedgepgh.com/live to watch the show. And then again, you can listen to it Monday morning at 10 a.m. But we're going to talk about why James Street closed. We're going to revisit those issues. If you remember, I had a big interview with Kevin. It was honestly the best coverage you would find anywhere. It was right here at riversedgepgh.com, Pittsburgh's home for local music. And we're going to continue that trend, covering the James Street situation. We're going to go in depth. We're going to talk about basically everything, what led to this point after the renovations, what Kevin suspects is the real issues, because I think it has something other to do with sound. That's just my inkling.
There's got to be more.
I'm going to ask him tomorrow evening. We're going to talk about the future for Kevin and his involvement in the music scene and what he plans to do next and all of that and more. That's going to be tomorrow night, 7 p.m.
Yes.
Again, you can... And I would suggest go to James Street, even though it's not open to the public to watch. You can still watch it on your phone in the bar and get a good drink and a good send-off to this iconic venue.
I'm watching it.
We all need to go there and support them.
That's right. They did a lot for us.
Yeah. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my history with James Street and when I got acquainted with the place. And we're going to talk about stories about James Street. So if you guys have any stories, feel free to message us here on the River's Edge page. You could tweet me at RiverTalkPGH, or you can just post a comment about a memory that you have of James Street in the Facebook event page, which just says River Talk Live at James Street. We don't want any advice. Don't give Kevin any advice on what to do or how to handle the situation, because he's been dealing with it for over a year now. He knows more than any of us as far as what he needs to do. We don't need to give him advice.
Yeah, just share your stories.
Share your memories, and we'll, if we read it and it seems like something that
condolences.
Yeah, well, don't even say that, because
I don't want to say it like that.
Everyone's going to say but everyone's going to say the same thing. Oh, I'm sorry to see it go. Yada yada yada. That's boring. That's boring. Everyone knows you're sad to see it go. So we don't care about that. Tell us about your memories of James Street, please. And if it's something that I find interesting, then we'll share it with Kevin right there in the Speakeasy for a special live edition of River Talk at riversedgepgh.com/live. One other event I have coming up, and I'm going to read from the flyer. It's kind of interesting. It says, on August 31st, 2017, our brother and friend, firefighter Corey, was diagnosed with the unthinkable colon cancer. Most people don't realize that cancer has no age limit when it appears. Throughout this whole ordeal, Corey has remained in high spirits and kept a I-will-beat-it attitude, even though Corey was unable to participate in his normal firefighter duties. He's a firefighter here in Millville. Okay. Obviously, going through cancer, it's a huge expense. Mm-hmm. And this young man, he's a really young guy. He was one of the two. If you remember our old space at Millville Studios, there was a massive fire, and it was actually some people who were recording with us here at the River's Edge who were in the fire and reported the fire. Okay. And they escaped. They called 911. The fire department came. Luckily, we share an alley with the fire department. Yeah. But Corey was one of the firefighters who was in Millville Studios and helped put out the fire. He was one of two firefighters that actually had heat exhaustion because he was putting himself in harm's way to save that building. And because of the efforts of Corey and the other firefighters of not just Millville but all over the area, there were firefighters from all over the region. They had fire trucks lined up from the edge of Grant and North, and it stretched all the way to Lincoln, and then 2 blocks up the street going past the studio. So we had basically every fire department in the whole North Hills where they were here in Millville, and Corey was one of the ones who was there. He had heat exhaustion that day, and because of his efforts and the efforts of all these other firefighters, our equipment was actually saved, and we were able to broadcast the next day from Nova Cafe. So this fundraiser means a lot to me. It's going to be at the Millville Community Center, which is right next door to us here at Mr. Small's, and that is 416 Lincoln Avenue. It's from 2 to 6 p.m. It's only $7. And it's a spaghetti dinner and $4 for children. It includes a pasta dinner, salad, and a beverage of choice. I'm assuming a non-alcoholic beverage.
That's what I'm guessing.
Oh, there's also a 50-50 raffle and a Chinese auction, too. So all of the proceeds directly benefit Corey and his medical expenses. So please come out to that on October the 29th. So, anything else from you guys?
No, that's it.
That's it.
We shared everything. We good.
Yeah, it was a good show today. Lots of fun. Again, please tune in tomorrow, 7 p.m. on Facebook Live or at riversedgepgh.com/live. And again, you can hear it Monday morning, 10 a.m. on TuneIn Radio. So I'm excited. I'm kind of excited to see the change. I'm excited to see if it does anything different with the show, a different type of crowd, or maybe more people will be watching from home and less people watching from work, so we might be able to get a few more voices to join the show that way as well. For Jay Cooper, Howie D. Mack, I'm Brian Crawford. We've got local music up next right here on Pittsburgh's Voice for Local Music, The River's Edge.
Later, bitches.
Let's